Welcome to Boxing on the Record with Randy and Chi-Town. Chi-Town, what's going on with you today, man? What's on your mind? What you want to get off and put it on the record?
Man, Randy, I was sitting out here chilling, watching Columbo with you, and then a commercial came, man. A commercial came saying that
Shout out
Canelo
to Columbo.
is saying that Canelo had to have an elbow surgery. He's gonna be out for the next several months and won't be returning until next year. And so I wanted to explain that a little bit. I know a lot of people. I'm sure people on both sides of the street. There are people that are saying he's faking it because he just got aired out so much, or he's looking for an excuse as to why he lost. With the fight with Bud and all these things. I just want to bring a little bit more context to it. I think most of our audience knows that I actually am a medical doctor, and I would like to share some of this in the medical way, but without being too technical with it. Everyone's heard of tennis elbow, a tennis elbow. Baseballers get a tennis elbow. You know, tennis players also get tennis elbow, and that comes from hyperextension or overextending your arm, swinging it a lot, overextended. Excuse me. And the exact same thing happens in boxing. This elbow injury is let me say that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let me do it one more time. The most common injury in boxing. In boxing, it's crazy, right? You would think the most common injury is my eyeball falling out or something like that, or my guts falling out from getting hit in the gut, but it's actually this elbow issue. You get inflammation around your elbow. I'm not going to give the medical term to it, but a lot of times it's you overextend your elbow, and it rarely happens in boxing. And the way that this happens, the way you reduce it is with technique. Having really good, solid technique reduces the chance of this happening. But a lot of times when this does happen, it's because a person is overshooting their target. They're swinging too far, going too far, and they're missing. It's based on a miss. You're missing. If you're throwing the punches the right way, with the right stance, with the right style that you're supposed to throw it, then it reduces your chance of getting this issue. But when you're fighting a target and you just constantly miss, and you're throwing hard and you're missing, you have a huge opportunity, like a 90% opportunity, to develop this hyperextension of your elbow, this elbow issue. He could have had inflammation in the elbow. I'm not going to give the technical name, or he could have issue with the little tendons that go there, when the tendons could be strained. That's probably from him doing that. Also, if you're hitting at a target, because a lot of Canelo throws a lot of body shots, and a lot of people throw those body shots, and some of these best leverage shots are those shots that go underneath or behind the elbow that person's trying to block. But if you throwing these types of punch and you're landing like maybe on the bottom tip of the elbow, or just at the elbow, or of the other person, that could cause you to have a problem with your elbow, cause this issue with your elbow as well. Or if you're trying to do a high guard block or blocking your guts on the side, but you don't get yourself fully set into position while you're trying to do a block, and a person hits you right when you're moving your arms to set, you don't have them solid there, and you get hit right there on the elbow, that can create these issues. So we don't know specifically, because there is different medical terms for different things, and they're pretty much the same thing. But I will tell you what has happened is a lot of inflammation around that elbow. It came from either getting hit, from him not setting properly when Crawford was throwing the punches down to the body. Could have came from him swinging at Crawford and missing, swinging hard and missing. And it could have come from him swinging and hitting Crawford's elbows at the bottom or on the side elbows. And doing that over a period of time begins to create this bruising on your elbow. And that's what they have to do surgery on, and to repair that. What you got, Randy?
Oh, you all right? I was just in here thinking. I noticed a lot. He was throwing a lot of liver shots, trying to catch Crawford with a liver shot to try to end the fight, because I think that was more out of desperation though. But I seen him trying to throw a lot of that, and that could have been what caused it. Man, I don't know. You're the doctor. I'm not the doctor, so I'm just trying to I don't know, trying to run down what I was looking at. And maybe, like you say, he was throwing hard shots, and maybe he was doing fighting out of desperation, and might have caused him to put himself in the position that he was in. But I noticed a lot of people not really even talking about that. Then again, too, Canelo, it seemed like he got more excuses than somebody trying to go to jail. when it's time for him to actually have to perform. If he would have knew
Yeah.
Crawford was gonna give him the problems he was having, he probably would have had a injury too. He might have had a problem with his hair. You know what I'm saying? He might have, had to take some time off because he needed a haircut. I mean, I don't know, but it seemed like to me it's always an issue. But that's what I was thinking. Ain't nobody really talking about this, and he's going to get surgery. And I was just trying to figure out, why is he going to get surgery? You feel what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
Crawford was the one that won. So
Yeah.
Crawford was,
Absolutely.
I'm looking at him inflicting the pain or inflicting, the abuse or what have you.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking either, I don't know.
No,
I'm kind of lost
you're
with
doing
this one.
good.
I'm kind of
You
lost
know,
with
you're
this
doing
one.
very good. Because as
Yeah,
I
I'm kind
wrap
of
it up,
lost with this one.
I just try to get the
Hmm.
facts up front. And as I wrap it up, I'm going to well, I'm not just saying, no, I'm saying that this is because of Bud. He's having this problem because of Bud. Any way you want to look at it. If we say because he overextended his arm, he didn't hit a target, which means Bud was out of the way. Bud dipped and moved out of the way, so he didn't hit Bud. If it happened because he hit his hand on Bud, guarding his sides and everything, it's because Bud's defense hurt him. You see what I'm saying? This all Bud gets credit for all of this in that type of regards. Something else you said too, and this is why it's very tricky. It does take a technique. So I want to be clear about this. It is hard to hit somebody behind their elbows or under their elbows, hit to get a liver shot or a back shot. It's so hard to do, and it requires so much technique and precision that many people forget the elbow. You know what happens? And this is why many people don't do it. They hurt their hand. They sprain their wrists when doing it, because you could swing and try to hit there, and then maybe you didn't, your punch isn't going right. You look good, but the end part of the punch may not be coming in right, and you sprain your wrist doing it. So a lot of people tend to sprain their wrist and just don't do it anymore. So that's why it's rare that we see people doing that a lot. But and the people that do it and are successful are very skilled at being able to do that. So I wanted to add that in. But anyways, whether he has to get surgery done or not does not take anything away from Bud. It even adds more to how good Bud is. We saw Bud stand right there in the pocket, and Canelo miss him. He definitely got hit flush, and he took Canelo's punches. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. But he didn't stand there and get hit flush all night long. Reminds me of when Devin Haney was standing in the pocket against Jorge Linares, something that no one thought he would do, and he stood right there in the pocket with the guy. This is exactly what Bud did. I can't remember who I saw. I mean, I know Floyd can obviously do it, but we don't want to go back, that many years and everything. I don't know anybody in recent time that just literally stood there in the pocket with Cinnamon. And if you watch how they fought, stand there in the pocket, he just makes different footwork changes. So he's still Crawford. So he still stays in the pocket with them, still stays close to him. He throws these sneaky shots, this shot, and then he moves, but he doesn't move out of range. He stays right there in range, steps over, steps right back over, it stays in range. That is extremely hard to do with another skilled fighter. So yes, I could literally look at the tape now and just talk while the tape is going on and show the parts where Cinnamon may have been overextending his arm, and where he may hurt his arm. It may not be obvious because he may not go like that, but you can see it just in
Yeah,
the action of
yeah.
him, So yeah, this is our Bud gets all credit, but should not even been taking credit for this. This is something that Cinnamon can bounce back from, because it is a very common injury in boxing. It is something that's easy to fix as well, but you do have to go through that healing phase. So yeah, I don't expect to see him for 6 months if he chooses to come back. Yeah, that's all I
Yeah.
got.
Now, I guess that goes on to say, Crawford say, when you fight him, you never the fighter never the same again. So, I
Yeah, that's
mean,
very, very true. Very true, man. I wish the
Sean
judges weren't
Porter
the same,
retired.
because the judges were horrible, man. I need them to never be the same
Exactly,
again. Lord.
exactly. Sean Porter retired. We haven't heard from Earl in about 2 years or plus now. I mean,
Absolutely.
Canelo
Absolutely.
having surgery.
Yeah.
You know
Not
what I
everyone.
mean?
Yeah.
I mean, speaking on Canelo, how you feel about Maul taking Canelo place in this fight coming up? I forgot the guy's name.
Yeah, you
Canelo
gotta give
supposed
me
to been
information. It's
fighting,
something
but
I'm not necessarily aware of just now.
um,
Yeah, I don't know.
rumor has it. Rumor has it. Rumor has it. So it may not even be true, but
Okay.
that's what the streets are talking
I see.
about.
What
So,
I do
and
know
I
for
know,
certain
and I,
is that
mhm.
Bud is staying at 168. He's not going back to 154. He's 168 or 160, and that's it. But he's definitely not going to
I
75. So, uh
go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, I was just saying. So, any Benavidez fight at 75, I think we had spoke about this already. That's never going to happen. Bud, he's again, I said it's too big, but he's not. I don't even see him staying at 68. It's exactly what you said. The belts are no longer held hostage, so everybody can fight to get whatever belt. And then move on, I know. Are you talking about? Wait a minute. Are you talking about Hamza Shiraz? 'Cause I believe Shiraz was going to try to make a deal with Canelo had he won, and you're saying Charlo stepping up to fight
Yeah,
Shiraz.
Maul. That's what I
I'm
heard. I heard
definitely.
somebody say that. I'm not sure, and I know you'll have to look it up because you like to,
Yeah, yeah, you know how
by
I
you
get
being
down.
a doctor, you like to have the paperwork.
Yeah, I gotta have paperwork. I gotta look at the facts, man. I got
Yeah, you
science
like to have the
everything,
paperwork.
man.
Now you might be able to say your opinion on it or what have you, but until you got
Yeah,
the paperwork on it, you don't
yeah,
really get deep and into detail with it. You
not
know
at
what I
all. I sure
mean?
don't.
But
I
that's
sure
that's
don't.
that's what I was hearing that
Okay.
Maul. But then I'm looking at that, man, and it give me mixed emotions because if it's true, and I'm
Yes.
just speaking from the standpoint of it being true, if
Yeah.
it's true, that tell me one thing for sure, maybe two. One thing for sure, if it's true, and Maul is fighting this guy after the layoff he done had, he couldn't have been a big threat to Canelo.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? If it's true, um, because if he was a big threat, why would Maul get in the ring with somebody that dangerous after layoff like he done had?
Right, right. No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
So
I stay neutral
yeah,
with that
yeah.
all, but I will
That's
definitely
why I
make a
said
video
if it's
about it.
true.
We'll make a video. Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely down to make a video about it after I get a little bit more review. But yeah, Canelo definitely this whole elbow stuff. I want to make it clear to everyone. This is a common COMMON and not the rapper. This is a common issue in boxing. Period. This happens in the amateurs and it happens in the pros. Happens with people that are just out doing fitness boxing. Happens to everyone. The matter of fact, I'm not going to get into any personal things, but the thing uh, to combat that because just as much the elbow injury and the shoulder injury are very common in boxing. And especially the shoulder injury, like 9% of the time people develop those shoulder injuries because they're throwing their punch wrong. And it's the same type of understanding when it comes to having the issue with the elbow, except that the elbow shots are usually related to body shots, behind the elbow shots. People don't necessarily equate that elbow being hyperextended, just throwing a regular shot. And yes, it can. And I'm gonna tell you this too, Randy. Hyperextended throwing a shot just out of range. If you just look at a lot of times, Bud, and that all fighters, all of us do this at different times. May stick their hand out like a little paw and just touch a person on their face, but not really hitting, just put their hand out there. They're measuring distance, range. Where can I hit you from? Where can I hit you from? And if another person is out of range, but they're trying to throw a hard punch and just too far away, that can extend the elbow. That can cause these elbow problems. So it's not just something that they're just in, the phone booth going against each other and then, oh, I hurt my elbow. You could be throwing a punch, but you're out of range, so you miss. Or you could be throwing a punch and a person slips. You throw and then throwing right after that. It's same thing can happen. So this is a very common injury, and can be caused by multiple things in and outside the fight. But it's seen regularly by doctors from amateur all the way up to pro. That's all I got on it, baby.
I definitely feel you on that because I've seen boxers do that many of times. Like you say, they use one hand for measuring, and then when
Yep.
they extend it out there to see, they might be fighting conventional stance, and they putting the left hand out there to measure to see how far you is, so they get ready to throw the right hand,
Right.
and you step back just a hair or lean back, and they throw the haymaker, and You ain't there. You know,
You
I
ain't
done
there.
seen them turn all the way around. You know what I mean? Turn
Right,
all the way
right.
around because they miss. Even some of them even fall. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, I've
So
definitely
so
seen that.
like you say, yeah. So like I say though, hats off to Bud. Hats off to Bud. I know a lot of
Yeah,
people gonna say we're Terence Crawford fanboys, but you have to give
man, we
credit
boxing
where
fans,
credit
bro.
is due.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we boxing fans. I mean, we was the same way about any fighter that's winning.
Any
We for the
fighter.
game. We for the
Yes,
game.
sir. Yes, sir.
We was with Earl Spence, and a lot of people say we
Yes.
turn our backs on Earl, but it ain't about turning our backs on
At
nobody.
all.
It's about following the winner. We want to
Uh-huh.
be with the winner. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like if we Earl Spence fans, what is and not saying that he need to do anything for us, but what is Earl doing for us now? He haven't did nothing for us in 2 years.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it is what it is. I'm not downing them or anything like that. I'm just saying we're fans of the sport because we can't go when Earl leave the sport. We're not leaving the sport. We
We're not
still
leaving
gonna
this
be here.
sport. We're still gonna be here, finding the next
Yeah,
vision, following the next up and coming. We got many up and coming. You
exactly,
know? So
exactly.
it's not
So
that. And
you
I hate
know,
the black and white thinking. Like you have to like one and you have to hate the other. That's it. How come I can't just like when Hagler and Hearns fought? I like both of them. I like both fighters. When Hearns fought Leonard, I liked both fighters. When they fought Durant, I liked both fighters. There's not, so it's just this new modern era that things are turning into this kind of foolishness. And whichever fighter loses has, and out of the list I've given, whichever fighter lost, I continued to follow that fighter and was big up in that fighter when they fought. That's just what it is. We didn't all of a sudden stop liking Hagler because Sugar Ray won that fight against him. No, Hagler started, loving boxing, of course, but we still followed. We didn't stop loving boxing when Sugar Ray pulled it out of his, tail when he beat Hearns in the
hmm
14th round. We still kept following Hearns, and kept going. It's just what it is. This is what boxing is supposed to be and what boxing is about. And there's more people in boxing than just Bud, Canelo, EJ, Fandora, and anybody, the Charles, anybody that's being talked about now. There's so much more to boxing, and so how dare we limit ourselves on the sport that we love? So there you go, bro.
and we're gonna bring the fans. We're gonna bring the subscribers. Um, we're gonna bring them some of those people. They might not even know anything about them. So on this channel, they will be getting some of those people that nobody's talking about
Absolutely.
because we trying to bring boxing to the casuals if we have any watching and put them into diehard fans face also to let them know that people coming up because we want to be able to give them their flowers on the way up and not just
Amen. Amen. Amen.
when they get there. But if you got anything else on this
That's it,
Canelo,
baby. That's it, baby.
all right then. With that being said, we're out of here like last year.
Peace.